let's get it rolling. And I know you like my catchy title about being bold and bondage. No, I'm not talking about trying new kinky sex techniques, although that's always interesting and always a good idea if in fact you're suffering from discomfort around your sex life. I mean, I'm always a proponent of trying new things, taking risks, getting yourself out there, doing things differently. But we're not talking about that kind of bondage. So let's save that conversation for later. What I'm talking about is the bondage of you, the bondage of your head, the bondage of your thinking. It's the kind of bondage that chirps at you, wears you down, and prevents you from being bold. It tells you things like, don't even bother. It's not worth it. Don't do that. All these bad things can happen. Don't put yourself out there. You'll look stupid. You'll be wrong. You'll make mistakes. It just goes on and on and on and on. And it's what's been referred to as the insecure ego, the belittling mind, the limiting beliefs, the monkey mind. I mean, there's a million things we can call it, but what it is your fears. And your fears aren't adult in nature. Your fears are childlike, and they've just gone along with you as you've progressed through your life. And so now maybe you're 25, 35, 45, 55, and you have these nameless fears. And as long as you continue to be in bondage, which means you can't step outside those fears, as long as you remain attached to them, you're in bondage, and you'll never be able to explore the bigger and better parts of your life and the greatest aspects of your energy. One of the things that people say to me constantly is like, wow, you have a lot of energy. Now, there are days I'm caffeinated, there are days I'm not. And the truth is I don't need caffeine. I just have this level of energy. What gives it to me? I have a positive outlook. I have faith in greater and bigger things. And I generally tend to spend most of my time doing things that raise my vibration rather than dampen it. So I try to think about other people. I try to do things to be of service. I try to make my work worthwhile. And I take these risks because things like, and we'll talk, the typical risks that people tend to jump into that they're afraid of, like skydiving or swimming in the ocean when you're afraid of Jaws or any other kinds of big things like that. Yeah, I've done things like that. But bigger than that, I've done the daily work of living and existing and confronting my fears. So your fears are not like, there are big fears that have a name, like I'm afraid of heights, and so you jump out of an airplane. But the truth is that the bigger fears, the one that keep you in bondage, are the one that you don't even know are there, or they're nameless, and they're small. They're like little baby cockroaches that just keep, or termites would be, I think, be a better word, right? Because termites are the type of bug that just end up, once you get in the wall, you see that they're everywhere, and you didn't even know you had them. And that's the way your fears are. And they chirp away at anything you try to do, and they decrease your ability to take the steps necessary to have a bigger, bolder life. And I'm going to say something about the pandemic, because the pandemic has really fucked people up. And I use that word specifically and strongly, because you have a lot of people who were already kind of hesitant, insecure, suffering from minutia type fears, and now they're like steeped into them because they've been given like rock solid proof of all this stuff that they have to be afraid of. And I won't tell you what you should or shouldn't be afraid of, but I will say this, is that if you're not adjusting to or doing some sort of practice to mitigate your fears, whether real or imagined, your life's not going to progress. You're going to end up stuck in your apartment, stuck in this relationship, stuck in an icky job, stuck inside yourself, in bondage to the things that you don't know and that you're not willing to look at. I mean, that's the worst kind of bondage, because what people don't realize is that hormonally and mentally, day after day, year after year, you live like that, and that kind of bondage to your nameless fears. And what happens is you get stuck, and your hormones aren't swimming through your body because you're not moving and you're not intellectually engaged in what you're doing, and you start to lose your passion. And you know what follows after that? That sickness that you're afraid of, right? Because every infectious thing, viral, any kinds of other carcinogens, environmental, intrinsic, extrinsic, they need a host. right? And the more you stress yourself out, the more stuck you stay, the more attractive your host is. The more you're stuck, the more these things come in and stay stuck in you and cause all kinds of problems. So that's why you'll see people who are really stressed out and anxious, and even though they may look somewhat healthy, they're suffering from a lot of angst and they're starting to have internal problems. And we don't want that. We want less sickness, not more sickness. And we want a holistic sense, or at least I do, and that's what I'm trying to teach, a holistic sense of looking at and dealing with your life. Mind, body, soul, spirit, the whole picture, power within you, greater power outside of you, how to tap into it, how to unchain yourself from these nameless fears and start to do things differently, to start reliving your life and having a better one. Because it's that simple. This isn't airy-fairy weird stuff. It's basic, simple practices, self-examination, building self-awareness, belief in greater powers, service to others. That is a platform, a healthy foundation for living a really, really good life that'll give you almost all the happiness and peace and contentment that you could ever want. And even when times are bad, you'll have that foundation of peace and contentment to get you through. Oh, I went to 6 minutes, so ciao for now. I hope you have a great day, and thanks so much for showing up.